Pre-roll starts in 1 minute.
It was something like 7% of Black Mississippians were registered to vote. 7, 13% in Alabama, 13% in South Carolina, 19% in Virginia. That is voter suppression like we haven't seen. And then, of course, you get to the mid 1960s and the all important Voting Rights Act, which Mr. Kelly knows probably a lot more about this than I do.
Wow. Well, I don't know about that. But Mr. Rogers, yeah, the Voting Rights Act was pretty incredible about 1965. And one of the things that we think about in the Voting Rights Act of 1965, how we got there, and certainly a lot of people talk about Freedom Summer, 1964, people like Bob Moses, leader of SNCC, helping to register people like John Lewis, a great hero from the state of Georgia, getting people and pushing people to register to vote, forcing at Selma, really, the federal government to finally pass this Voting Rights Act. The effect of this Voting Rights Act, when they passed it, preventing Southern states and even some Western states from discriminating against African Americans, discriminating against Native Americans, Latinos, it really forced those states to undo all those discriminatory laws that had been passed. So just like you said, something like 10% of the people being registered to vote, minorities, suddenly shot up to 70% of African Americans being able to vote for the first time. We read a book in my class in which some historians say that real democracy did not exist until the Voting Rights Act of 1965.
Yeah. Well, it's important to note that, remember, each state is in charge. They have jurisdiction over their own voting laws, as we saw in this past election, right, in 2020. And so states were really implementing some laws that were, is it okay to say they were shady? Do people still say that?
That's for sure a thing.
Okay.
Absolutely. Some of the things that today, when we think about voter suppression, we certainly, when you mentioned that today, voter purges, voter roll purges, purging people who are registered from voting off the voter rolls. That's one of the things that we're facing here in 2021. Closing and reducing the number of voting precincts would be another thing that people are trying to suppress the vote. They didn't like maybe the election results of the last election. Increasing voter ID laws, requiring people to have a specific form of voter ID to be able to cast a vote. Things like that certainly are efforts today to suppress the vote. Who are the heroes today? When you think about in Georgia, does anybody come to mind?
Stacey Abrams.
The Abrams seems to be like a big deal.
Yeah. So, Mr. Kelly, what you're saying is that all of the progress that was made from the Voting Rights Act, things have changed just in the last few years, and essentially they're back at it again.
Yeah. So you could probably speak to this because you're an expert on Supreme Court cases, but I think some things have changed with the Voting Rights Act with the Supreme Court, right?
Yeah, that's right. In 2013, a case was filed out of North Carolina, and they sued the state of North Carolina sued, saying that the federal government was intervening in their voting laws illegally, right? So they were contesting the Voting Rights Act. And the case passed on the Supreme Court 5-4 in favor of North Carolina. Since then, there have been a slew of these states now who have come out with these kind of laws that you're talking about. So essentially, they're at it again. Wow. And so everybody needs to be aware of that.
Yeah, I just read this morning that Arizona has 2 cases before the Supreme Court trying to suppress the vote there in Arizona. So you're exactly right. It's a very real thing.
Yeah. Wow. It's a great topic, Mr. Riccardi. Thanks for calling.
Well, of course. I'm just really kind of trying to process all this because, America is, supposed to be this democracy, but it's sounding like it's a little bit more complicated than that. So I'm really appreciating the information, and I'm hoping that we can give everybody some tools to move forward and just be aware of what's going on, because it seems like it's a lot harder to vote than what it might seem.
Mr. Riccardi, remember, it's we the people, not we some of the people.
Yeah.
It's we the people. That means all of us.
Excellent. Well, I'm so glad that get a chance to talk with you and learn so much about this. So I appreciate you all very much. And thank you again for joining us. I hope to talk to you soon. If I can ask some questions, would that be all right in the future if I come up with anything?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. Maybe next time we can talk about voter reforms, how to increase voting here in America, because there's a lots of great debate on that topic.
Wow.
I told you they'd be good to call.
They were a great call. So thank you very much, Ms. Walton. And until next time, bye.
Good morning, Panthers. I'm Cam.
And I'm Kira.
And happy first day of March. Now that we're in March, it means that spring is just around the corner. And for you seniors, happy last first day of the last March of senior year.
It also means that a lot of us seniors start finding out which colleges we're getting into. Woo! We hope all of you get into the schools of your dreams.
Yes, we do. And now today starts the final week of the winter term. LaSallian Days is tomorrow, and then distance learning days for the rest of the week.
And we hope you had a very productive weekend and are ready for this final week of the winter term. Here are our final tips for the week.
Now is the time to ask those final questions of your teachers about what is expected of you to finish this term.
And now is the time to manage your time. Create a reasonable plan to finish your projects, papers, and to study for those final assessments.
You should also reach out for help from your teacher or counselor if you feel overwhelmed. They can help you create a plan to be more prepared.
And take advantage of tomorrow's final LaSallian day of the term. Make an appointment today to meet with your teachers and/or to study on campus with your classmates.
And finally, remember to get enough sleep and drink lots of water, not caffeine. Stay well, Panthers, and good luck this week on your final exams and projects.
And if you feel like you need some place to ground yourself, the chapel will be open tomorrow between 11 a.m. to 12 noon. Please enter masked and only sit on the blue taped seats.
And today begins the virtual food drive for the entire month of March. See the posters around school to donate to the Alameda County Food Bank, where every dollar gets multiplied into $7 worth of purchasing power. During the pandemic, the need for food has increased with the loss of jobs. As you make your almsgiving sacrifices during this Lenten season, let one of them be to give food to the needy. Of course, we cannot collect food at this time, but we can always find a way to help. Please join us in supporting the hungry by going to ACCFB, select Give, go to Virtual Food Drive, and select St. Mary's High School to make your donation. Thank you, Panther community.
Yes, go ahead and give, Panthers. And now students, don't forget to check your SM Panthers account for a link to your second period course evaluation. Please complete it sometime today.
And we wish a very happy birthday to Aiden Capra, Spencer Miller, Sophia Phillips, Donovan Salvador, and Jackson Savio.
And tomorrow to Viviana Pena.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, everyone. Well, that's all we have for announcements today, Panthers. It's been Kira
And it's Cam
signing off.
signing off.
Have a great day, St. Mary's.